Hello everyone and welcome back to the 31 Days of THORGIWEEN, and this week is Viewer Request Week. That's right, all week long I'm taking suggestions from you guys on what you want to see me review, and Deshaun Pullen wrote in and requested that I review Hatchet. Now, I'll be honest with you, aside from the fact that this has a comic book tie-in, I've never even heard of this movie. However, it's a slasher film, and as I've been saying all month long, I don't like slasher films. They just don't do it for me. And the monster in this is just some random deformed hillbilly. Great, super original, and it's already got 3 sequels, which is typically in the horror community a sign of a low budget and just desperate cash grabs. This sounds like it's gonna suck, but it's on Hulu and I'm cheap, so let's do it. This movie starts off with a group of friends going down to Mardi Gras, and we instantly get strike one for a slasher film, seeing the protagonist acting like drunk partying jackasses.
How is this fun? This place is disgusting. Our hotel room smells like sweaty balls, man. You threw up 6 times yesterday. How do you even do that?
Except for this guy who hates partying and socializing and wears a comic book store t-shirt might just be the most relatable character in movie history. Okay, I'm partly joking, but no, that actually is a shirt for the Boston comic book store Newberry Comics. Yeah, I can't help it. I spent the entire film wondering why he was wearing that. Is Newberry Comics funding this film? Is that a thing now? Can comic book stores fund horror films? Because if so, I work in a store and I happen to have a pitch for it. No, nobody wants to hear that? Okay, cool, moving on. So Mr. Average Joe protagonist gets his friend to go with him on a haunted tour of the bayou, and at first they attempt to get a ride from Tony Todd, but he turns them down. It's a shame too, because if they had gone on his boat, then they would have gotten a vision of their upcoming deaths and run off the boat in time to save themselves. Should I have made a Zoom reference instead? Candyman? The guy's been in a lot of things. But they keep looking around, and the good news is they eventually find a boat that's willing to take them on a tour of the bayou. The bad news is the tour will be led by this guy.
Do you do a haunted swamp tour?
Why, I do the only haunted swamp tour? Real live ghosts? Ooh, tales of the macabre.
Is that clever or offensive? I really can't tell anymore. They join the tour and they find that it's filled with classically trained comedians who will make you stop and wonder why the heck they're in this movie. But the cast includes a vacationing Midwestern couple, a man making a Girls Gone Wild ripoff video and his 2 assistants, and a mystery girl who our protagonist has got the hots for. And of course, the protagonist himself is joined by his friend who acts as the comedic relief.
40 bones each.
$40?
Yes.
All right.
You spot me?
Well, you don't have any cash?
No, I'm just not paying for this bull.
Okay, I can't lie, that actually kind of made me laugh. As they go through the swamp on their tour, their guide tells them stories of ghosts haunting the bayou, including the tale of Victor Crowley, a deformed man who haunts these woods to this day. However, it turns out that they were in for more trouble than they bargained for, as their tour guide crashes the boat, a passenger is attacked by an alligator, and they have to abandon ship, only to learn that their tour guide's totally real accent was faked all along. He wasn't a real tour guide, he was just a guy letting people pay him to drive them on a boat through the river as he read off stories to them. And okay, now that I think about it, I guess he still technically was a tour guide and he didn't actually do anything wrong other than lying about his own competence, which, in all fairness, who among us is innocent of that sin? But as they walk through the swamp, the mystery girl reveals that the reason she came on this tour is because her father and brother went missing in the swamps and she came to look for them. Wait, why'd she go looking for them on a tour boat?
So you go on the ghost tour? How does that make any sense?
Well, $30 for a boat ride was a hell of a lot cheaper than getting my own boat, wasn't it?
That's actually a pretty decent explanation. I can't find fault in this film's logic. What is happening to me? But that's not all. She reveals the true story of Victor Crowley, that he was a deformed man who lived with his father, but one day teenagers came by and accidentally burned down the house. His father tried to reach his son, but he was powerless to save him.
Mr. Crowley got home and he tried to get inside, but the door was on fire. You could hear Victor screaming inside, but he couldn't get in.
Bull crap, that's Kane Hodder. And if there's one thing that I know about horror films, it's that Jason can break through a wooden door. The married couple decide that they can't wait till they reach the road, and they stop at the exact house where Victor Crowley died, only to discover I've just been informed by YouTube that if I play one more frame of that clip, then it won't be suitable for advertisers, because as we all know, R-rated films never receive any advertising or have advertisement for other products and films placed before them. Also, I've never seen trailers before. But I will say this. Crowley proceeds to rip the both of them apart, and it's actually kind of awesome. Okay, I know it sounds barbaric of me to say, I know it sounds like I'm some kind of a ghoul, but I've often said that slasher films don't really scare me, so the only way that I'm really going to enjoy a slasher film is if you just go balls to the wall crazy with it. And the kills in this film are so shocking in the levels they go to that I found myself watching this not to be scared, but just to be impressed with what crazy thing they were going to do next. And as soon as he shows up, he starts chopping one character off after another, and tensions rise high among the remaining characters as they come close to cracking.
Just can't leave someone out here to die.
Look who grew conscience.
Look, they might need help
Why me?
because you have a flashlight.
Stop being funny and clever, movie! You're making me think that wasn't a good idea to judge you before I actually watched you. Yeah, I can't believe I'm saying this because I can step back and look at this film and realize that the jokes are pretty hokey. So maybe it's the delivery, maybe it's my low expectations, maybe it's because it goes hand in hand with the craziness of this film, but I actually found this film to be pretty funny and clever. Okay, maybe not clever, I mean it's not smart, but it knows exactly what it is, and it plays into it quite well. Yeah, this movie feels like it should be a Sci-Fi Channel toss-away horror film, but it's actually pretty fun. The characters are actually kind of likable, and the kills are as gruesome as they should be to really surprise you and keep you watching. And, well, okay, that's about it. Yeah, it's a pretty basic, simple slasher film. There's no big twists or turns. I mean, heck, I just told you the entire plot minus the ending in the span of 5 minutes. However, yeah, it's fun, and it manages to have some characters who, sure, they're not very deep, but they're not annoying. In fact, they're actually pretty entertaining. And I feel like for a slasher film, that totally deserves an A for effort. I can't go too high with my score on this simply because, yeah, it is just a basic slasher film. The plot is really simple and there's nothing special to it. However, it's fun, and I found myself actually enjoying it all throughout the film. And yeah, I'll admit, I was totally wrong to make an assumption about this film without having actually watched it, and I'm glad that this movie proved me wrong. So I'm going to give this film a 7.9 out of 10. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, and if you want to see more of these reviews, then hit that subscribe button since we're doing them all month long. And if you want to support this channel, then check out our merch at tpublic.com/user/ProfessorThorgy. And as always, you can follow me on Twitter at ProfessorThorgy. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, and happy Halloween.